Ivan Pavlov by Chase Nichols.
Hello everybody, today I am going to be talking to you about Pavlov and his classical conditioning theory. Basically, I'm going to give you a brief overview of what it's all about, how he made it work, and maybe a real life adaptation of what it looks like. Enjoy. When most people think of Pavlov, the very first thing they consider is, hey, isn't that the guy that rang the bell and made the dog slobber? Well, essentially, yes, that's true. But he was not only famous for that. One of his very first experiments that he did was conducting what made a dog salivate by using lights. This experiment worked by just putting a dog in a dark room. Whenever the light was turned on, the dog was given food. And when he was given food, the dog, of course, began to salivate. He was hungry. But over time, they started to make some observations about the dog. Every time that they turned on the light, he began to salivate more and more, knowing that food was coming, to the point where they just turned on the light and boom, the dog was salivating. It took nothing more than the light as a stimulus to get that response. Essentially, this entire idea is known as classical conditioning. The dog was conditioned to believe that whenever the light came on, well, that meant food time. And that applies more than just with animals such as dogs. Now, I said I wanted to try and give you a real-life example of what this might look like. So I'd like to introduce my guest star that is appearing for this video. Lambo! Everybody meet Lambo. He's going to help us out. Alright, so I'm not going to be showing you how this little guy over here is conditioned with food, but I am going to show you something I've always found kind of funny with him. He's conditioned so that whenever he hears the garage door open, he thinks Mommy is home. For some reason, he doesn't respond when I'm around. I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't like me as much. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave him sitting here. I'll leave the camera rolling. I'm going to go open the garage door. I want you to make the observation of what he does. Hold tight. Although my example worked on this little guy over here, it doesn't always work unless there's a reward in it for somebody. Thank you. So whenever you are doing an experiment that uses conditioning, you got to make sure that they have something that they want. For example, when Mommy home means that someone's going to get a treat because she spoils him. Where I could relate that to my classroom. When I'm in the classroom, I'm trying to get the students to maybe be a little bit more quiet. If I let them do brain breaks if they're doing what they're supposed to, maybe do a 2-minute dance or get up and do a fun activity, well, I could use that as my motivation, my stimulus. Whenever I want to have them stop talking as much, well, maybe I'll give them that look that lets them know, yep, you're about to lose your brain break. Where they quiet up and do what they're supposed to. That little look in the eyes, that's what all it takes. That's all it takes. Every teacher has their little technique and has their little way of showing that they're not pleased. They know it when they can see me looking just like that. It works, doesn't it?